have no public hearings, so we'll move on to action items. Item number 17, consider determination of special circumstances for 125 Ocean View Boulevard, Pacific Grove, California.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you know, when a commercial project comes before us, we evaluate the project in a pre-project and post-project framework, and we assign factors related to the types of uses on that site from Table 2 of our Rule 24B. Upon occasion, we've had developers tell us that the table factors would unduly overstate the water use, that they've either got a unique or innovative approach. We did this in Sunrise Assisted Living a number of years ago. We did it just 2 years ago for MST for their renovation here in the Ryan Ranch, where we say, okay, we understand what you're saying based on an engineering report. We do see that there are opportunities here to use less water in a fashion different than what our factors might have produced. Therefore, we'll put you on secret double probation and we'll review actual water records, and if in fact you stay within the confines of the limit, then you have permission to proceed. If you exceed the limit, then we'll debit the jurisdictional allocation at that time. So the finding of special circumstances at this point for a project where we've not actually examined a consultant's report or plans is done in order so they know what the playing field is going forward, and we would in effect be saying, based on the unique or innovative approaches that you're offering, we agree that you might outperform the factors in Table 2, and if you produce such a report and it gives us enough comfort, then we'll proceed to issue your water permit. In your supplemental packet, on the third page is some text, and this is a proposed condition for this finding of special circumstances should you decide to vote in that direction, which in effect puts the onus back on to the developer to do one or a combination of these several different approaches to the construction that would save potable water on the site, and the plans then would have to reflect those proposals, at which time we would be in a position to issue a water permit under the designation of special circumstances. And we do have representatives of both the owner and the project developer here today.
Okay. Does the board have any questions first?
So I have a question. We don't currently have any water use standards for things like gray water use, et cetera, et cetera.
Correct.
So this would maybe have an opportunity to establish something like that?
It might be as we get more of a body of work to see what can be done. You know, what happens is as technologies change and then we adopt a standard, there are fewer and fewer opportunities to come in for special circumstances once you squeeze everything into standards. But that's kind of what we've been doing. You know, there's been opportunities for residential credits that have been lost as we've made things standard. We've got the same thing going in commercial now where standards will be in place. And so in the past, for example, they've been able to come in and say, hey, if I do this, can I have a credit? And then we make it a standard. And, you know how it works. But yeah, so this would be an opportunity to look at some of the potential results on double plumbed gray water or rainwater catchment, sure.
Yeah, I have a few questions. Could you explain again why we're looking at this before seeing a report on what type of water saving ideas they have?
Yeah, it's a little bit of just cart and horse issues. If you want to instruct somebody to undertake the expenditure of significant dollars on a report, not knowing that the board's going to grant special circumstances if the report supports that, the preference here would be, and let me back up too, this is the second developer. If there's a third, we want to be, or a fourth, sorry guys, we want to be in a position to say this is the path that this parcel will move forward on, expend the funds on a report, deliver the report, we'll review it. If we don't buy it, then you don't get your water permit. That's always been kind of the condition, but it's basically to set a set of ground rules so they can move forward, knowing what standard they'll be held to.
Have we, given special circumstances before seeing a report to the other items you've mentioned?
Yes.
Okay. And the last question I have is what remains of Pacific Grove's allocation if you did have to debit it down the line? How much do they have?
Well, so the last time we did Monterey, and they had almost zero water. Pacific Grove has almost zero water as well. They've got 0.155 acre-feet. And so the last letter that we accepted on behalf of MST was that if in fact, and so there's a 5-year review period too, so there was a little bit of betting that the desal plant would be online and there'd be water to allocate. The letter that we had from the city of Monterey that we accepted said that they would debit the account from the first available water. So when new water is allocated to the jurisdiction, in Monterey's case, then they would debit it. So you give them 10, but you take away 1 or whatever the difference is. And that's what we would apply in this case as well.
So to follow that up, Pacific Grove actually has water, quote, available, but it has not been allocated yet because of their recycled water plant.
Right.
Okay.
Any further questions from the board? Okay, if the applicant, if you wanted to say anything.
Members of the board, good evening. My name's Mike Zimmerman. I'm with Foursome Development Company, who's the owner of the American Tin Cannery site. This has been a redevelopment site that we've been working on with the city of Pacific Grove for about 4 years now. 4 years, going on 4 years. About 4 years ago, the site was the subject of a successful ballot initiative to expand the zoning to specifically permit a hotel. Foursome has entered into an agreement with Comstock Housing, Inc., who is currently doing due diligence in determining the feasibility of developing a hotel on the site. They've been working hard at it, spending money, and they need to make sure that they have the ability to go forward. And our request is for special consideration under Rule 24E and the opportunity to design a project to operate within the allocation. We're committed to engaging design and engineering professionals to incorporate water-saving features and processes in the proposed project that are in excess of current district requirements. The goal will be to credibly document the ability to operate the project within the current allotment. Some of the initial thoughts were included in the letter in your package, but I'm sure there'll be a lot more once we get the true professionals involved. And our intent is to work closely with district staff to ensure that whatever concerns there are addressed timely and to everyone's satisfaction. And we have the representatives of Comstock Housing, Inc., the potential developer, if anybody's got any questions.
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and open it up to public comment. Anyone from the public wishing to discuss this matter? Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment. Any additional comments or questions?
I just have one additional. Is there an idea of the order of magnitude of water use for this site from the factors? So to get an idea of how much would be brought down or need to be brought down from this? I mean, is it a matter of reducing it by half an acre foot or
No,
6
it's,
acre feet,
so
or
a hotel, I think when we looked at it before, it'd be in mid-20s, depending on your other ancillary facilities, banquets, and so forth. So it's, yeah, probably about a third over, just call it 26, and they have 18 on site,
Okay, thank you.
something like that.
That's all I have.
Okay.
I'd just like to say that I think this is the kind of project, especially like the Sunset Retirement Home, it's the kind of project we want to move forward, and I think it benefits the district in having documentation for what some of the water uses are and what factors should be used for those.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Lewis?
Am I correct in understanding that only one of these 6 factors has to be met?
Yeah, excuse me, enough to bring it down. So if they can come up with a design that gets it squarely within that 18.53 acre feet, using 3 innovative approaches or all 6, whatever's most cost effective and believable in looking at a water demand and efficiency report. But yeah, if they can do it on just one big thing, we would accept that.
Thank you for the clarification.
I'd
And
like to
we
move
will
approval.
see-
Oh,
Sorry, Dean. We will see that report before issuing the permit,
Yeah.
correct?
I move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a,
Second.
Sorry. I yield.
we have a motion from Director Burns, seconded by Director Evans. I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.